Plateau at the tri-junction of India, Bhutan and China witnessed a dangerous standoff in 2017 after Indian troops clashed with Chinese troops and stopped them from constructing a road on Bhutan soil as it posed a threat to India's defense. Now China wants Doklam on a platter by browbeating Bhutan, which is one of the world's smallest countries nestling in the Himalayas, into parting with it through coercive diplomacy. It is no surprise now that China's boundary talks with Bhutan in geopolitical terms are aimed at India. Beijing is piling pressure on Thimphu, but its objective is to harass and intimidate India. New satellite images have surfaced that show how China has continued unsanctioned construction activity in North Bhutan's Jakarlung Valley. The fresh images, sharpest to be released so far from the region, suggest that Bhutan may have no option but to accept China's expansionism in this area, which lies 50 kilometers from Bhutan's eastern border with India's Arunachal Pradesh. The images in this report from Maxar show how China has scaled up its physical presence in the Jakarlung Valley over 2 years. Images from December 7 showed ongoing construction of at least 129 buildings, which appear to be residential quarters in one settlement, and at least 62 buildings in a second enclave a short distance away. Earlier, images from August 2021 of the same area show that none of these buildings had been constructed. China and Bhutan held their 25th round of boundary talks in Beijing and signed a cooperation agreement. The boundary talks between Bhutan and China were held after a gap of 7 years and indicated significant progress. Bhutan and the Tibetan Autonomous Region share a contiguous border to Bhutan's north and west of about 470 kilometers. Since 1984, Bhutan and China had held 24 rounds of talks to resolve the disputes until 2016. But the 25th round appeared to have been held up after the Doklam standoff between India and Chinese armies in 2017 and then the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019 to 2021. However, the two sides used the pause to hold talks at other levels in rapid succession, especially after China threatened to open a new front for a border dispute to Bhutan's east. Since then, the expert group of diplomats on both sides met in 2021 to agree on a three-step roadmap, and the first boundary delimitation technical talks were held in August 2023. In November 2023, Bhutan's King Jigme Khesar Nangyal Wangchuk visited India. While details of the ongoing border negotiations were not spelled out in the joint statement, which was released, both sides held discussions on the entire gamut of bilateral cooperation and regional and global issues of mutual interest. In 2017, India and China were involved in a tense 2-month-long standoff in Doklam, when Indian troops physically prevented the extension of an illegal Chinese road in the area. Irrespective of the outcome, experts believe that India should be concerned by the precedent that Bhutan's Jakarlung sets for China's expansionist plans. China had signed a formal agreement with Bhutan in 1998 not to alter the status quo in disputed areas. However, it violated that agreement in Jakarlung. India's immediate concerns over Chinese expansion within Bhutanese territory also extend to the Amuchu River Valley, which lies directly adjacent to the Dolam Plateau. The strategic importance of Doklam, which has been a part of Bhutan until now, for both China and India is extremely crucial. If China wrests control of Doklam, the People's Liberation Army can easily overrun the Siliguri corridor, a thin strip of Indian territory linking the mainland to the northeastern region. Doklam borders the Siliguri corridor, also known as the Chicken's Neck, because it is as narrow as 22 kilometers, underlining its vulnerability in the event of a limited invasion. That's why the takeover of Doklam is such a priority for Beijing. On the contrary, New Delhi simply can't let China gain such a crucial military advantage over India under any circumstances. If the northeast is cut off from the rest of India, the PLA can swoop down and annex Arunachal Pradesh, which China has time and again illegally claimed as an extension of South Tibet. In May 2020, in eastern Ladakh, the People's Liberation Army advanced in 5 areas, but in that case, India strongly reacted after a few days. However, in Bhutan's case, the Royal Bhutan Army does not have the capacity to react and push the PLA or Border Defence Force back, or even stop the construction of the new villages. Of greater concern to New Delhi are the ongoing talks, as Bhutan is slowly shifting towards the strategic orbit of China, and there is not much that India can do, except if a new security agreement is signed between Delhi and Thimphu. This puts New Delhi and the King of Bhutan in a difficult situation.